Shot to the heart, and you're to blame. Zuko, you give love a bad name. Okay, now he's... Okay, you can go. I'll let you swing on the hammock. Okay. Hey guys, and welcome to Student Night. It is Wednesday, May 19th, and I'm so glad that you are with us. If you're new here, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. I got to see a lot of you last week. I'm ecstatic. Man, 10th grade girls are crushing it. 9th grade girls crushing it. I saw Micah and Jasper Ainsley. You guys, thanks for coming so much. We're going to have a fun night tonight. If you remember last week, we did some playing challenges. We finished our week on justice, and this week I'm in a new location, so I got to give you a little bit of a tour. So you have my front door, you walk in the front door, and then you turn the corner, and let's see what we got. We have got little Zuki, but we have this little cute little porch area. So we have a futon that we found on the side of the road that we fixed up because it was broken. Now it works. A table, this little rug, love it. And guys, this hammock chair right now, it swings and does the best stuff. It's great. Kelsey's trying to grow some plants. Yeah, and then we got this little hanging plant here. So that's what it looks like, the porch. It's a good spot. Right, Zuki? Right. Yes, the good old porch area. We're very excited that it's warmer out and we can do it out here. So yeah, guys, welcome to my porch. Hey, this week we're gonna start a new series for middle schoolers. It's called Movement, and high schoolers it's called Rebellious. It's all about serving. It's about doing things that we don't have to do, but we do because we love God, and because we love God, we love others more so than we would just do normally. So what does that mean to be rebellious, to be on the move, and to serve others like Jesus served? Because if you don't know this about me already, you know that I love Jesus. I think he is the coolest, most amazing person who's ever lived. He is who he said he was. He rose from the grave. We have tons of historical evidence for this, and I believe that we should follow him with all our hearts. You may believe that here tonight. You may not believe that, but I'm glad you're here nonetheless, because we're going to be talking about changing the world through him, and it's going to be exciting. But I gotta hit you with that segment because it's time for my favorite segment, or at least my cat's favorite segment. It's time for Where's Zuko?
Where is Zuko gonna be today? Where is Zuko gonna be today? The vent or the porch, or up high or down too low? All we gotta ask is, where's Zuko? Nailed it.
Hey guys, we're up here. Kelsey's feeding the plants, but I'm wondering, where is Zuki? What are you doing here, boy? What? We're up in our attic right now. Where's he going? Zuko, where are you going, buddy? Your eyes look super creepy right now. Wait, what? Where did he go? What is this? What is in here? Zuko? Oh my gosh. Zuko? Where is he? Zuko? This is so creepy. What is all this stuff going up in front? It looks like a Stranger Things. Like, what is this dust kicking up here? Where is he? I don't see him. Oh my gosh, dude! He's a funny one. He's been a little ridiculous. He's probably behind me right now, but yeah. We'll see what happens with him moving forward. Woo, wonderful. Guys, we are gonna head, last week we played a game, that paper airplane contest, and we had winners. I announced them last night, but I wanted to just do a quick recap and throw up the leaderboard, because we know that the 11th grade boys took the cake. Closely behind them were the 6th grade boys and senior boys, and the 8th grade girls took the cake for the decorating. Look at that, wonderful. And this is the leaderboard now. Woo! Man, it is spicy right now. And guys, as we get to the end of the year, I gotta do something. I'm gonna do it. Ready? I'm gonna karate chop this thing in half, because we are gonna have a high school and a middle school winner this year. And high school is tight right now. Middle school, you guys are doing great as well. And guys, it's gonna be a good prize at the end, so I suggest you go hard. Wonderful. That brings us to this week, because you know right now that it is time for game time. Guys, today we are going to be going at it, a little bit of creativity, a little bit of physical building. We are going to play a game called The Perfect Sculpture. Can you sculpt? That's right, we're going to be playing a game called The Perfect Sculpture, and in your room, every one of you has an aluminum foil tin. And I'm going to put up a picture that I need you guys to sculpt as best as possible. Now, it's going to be a fun one, and let's just say that you have to read the judging criteria on the side of the picture to know what you have to do. You guys will probably have 8 minutes. You got to take your aluminum, you got to build the sculpture with your team, and you got to place it outside. Make sure to look at the curriculum. You guys find it, you find your aluminum foil, because we're about to get ready. We're wasting no time. The perfect sculpture. Can you create it? Wait for the picture and try to sculpt it as best as possible. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, let's sculpt. Well, wonderful, guys. I hope you had fun with that. I'm going to be out there testing these, measuring them. You saw height is in this, judging for accuracy as well. I hope you guys enjoyed that one tonight. Guys, there's like not many student nights left, so now is the time to get points right now, okay? Wonderful. We are going to move on to a time of musical worship. All of life is worship, right? We can worship God in all of life with our talents, singing, instruments. We can use our athletic talent. We can use our minds to worship God, but this is going to be specifically musical worship, and I'm excited for you guys to listen to the song today. So let's bow and pray and talk to our Heavenly Father. Lord, I thank you so much for this day. I know we're all hyped up, having built the Eiffel Tower, but I pray that we can come together as a community and recognize that it's because of you that we have breath in our lungs, it's because of you that we have life, and it's because of you that we can love our neighbor with love that just transcends understanding, God. I pray that you would work in us, and allow us to love our neighbors today and help us listen to this musical worship, the lyrics, and take it to heart. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, let's go to worship.
My God, wherever I go, glory. Where I reap and where I sow, glory. In my hands they grip the thorns, glory. In the still and in the storm, glory.
Guys, well, I hope you enjoyed that. We are going to go to the teaching time. We're going to truth time. One quick thing I wanted to tell you is that there is a student devotional, a daily devotional for this series. So I'm gonna actually, it's on our Instagram right now. If you go to our Instagram, you can find the link to the daily devotional. It's through the YouVersion Bible app. Highly recommend that. If you're looking, you're like, man, what do I read? I wanna read in the morning. I wanna read my Bible. What should I read? I highly recommend you go to our Instagram and find that daily devotional, okay? Just wanted to plug that. Sweet. So sit back, get your notebooks out. Those of you, maybe if you're new, make sure you get a scribe pad, because that's where you can take notes about the lesson and you can go from there. So without further ado, it's truth time.
It's not gonna work. All right, have you ever seen a movement? A movement is a group of people working together. A group of people doing the same thing with a common goal. If you've joined in the latest viral TikTok trend or campaigned for someone to be elected class president at your school, or even joined a small group here in our student ministry, then you've been a part of a movement. In fact, let me tell you a little bit about a movement that I've been part of. When I was in middle school, I was in this club called Shout, and it was a leadership club, and a ton of my friends were in it with me too. We would meet after school to hang out, but we would also do a lot of service projects and plan events for our school together. We had so much fun, and so much of what I remember about middle school included being part of Shout. Maybe you hear stories like mine and think, that's cool, I'd love to be part of a movement like that. But others of you might be thinking, what's the big deal? I mean, what's so great about being part of something like that? Well, that's what we're gonna talk about over the next couple of weeks. Because whether we realize it or not, movements have the potential to make big changes in our lives and the lives of others. The movement that we're a part of here at church is following Jesus. And even if you're not sure what this whole faith thing is about, stick with me, because it's actually a pretty big movement. It's one that's been around for thousands of years. And besides believing in Jesus, there's one cool thing that we can all do as part of this major movement. We can start serving. Serving simply means doing something good for other people, something that helps or benefits someone else. And when we serve other people together in big and small ways, we're joining the movement Jesus started to bring something good into the world. But let's be honest. Sometimes serving isn't the easiest thing to do. Maybe we've served at a school event or at church or maybe even at home, but to us it felt like a chore. It was something we had to do, almost like a punishment. Or maybe we've never really thought about serving before. We simply don't know where to start or what to do, and the thought of trying to figure it out feels overwhelming. We might be really excited about serving, but we're just not sure where to start. Maybe we even feel like we're too young, or don't have enough time, or can't give any money. I know I felt that way. Serving seems like something we can only do when we get older. Or maybe we've jumped into serving already. And when we did, we were really excited about it and loved helping others. But after showing up week after week to help in the children's ministry, or volunteer in our class, or tutor younger students after school, we don't feel the same excitement that we used to. Does that mean that we've given up on the movement? Or maybe serving just feels inconvenient to us. It takes a lot of work and time and effort, and honestly, we'd probably rather put our time and energy into something that's more fun. Maybe serving feels difficult for us because the reality is we have a lot going on in our lives. We have big needs ourselves. So how are we supposed to serve someone else when we're in need of some help and support too? See, so often we serve other people only when we think it's good or convenient for us. If it satisfies a requirement for school, or lets us go on a cool trip, or allows us to hang out with our friends, it's worth it. Serving is easier to choose when we see how it benefits us. But when we think of serving that way, we're kind of missing the big picture. We're missing the movement that God is actually calling us to be part of. The good news for us is that we have a great example of what the movement of serving others can look like. And that's Jesus. If we want to learn about what serving is really supposed to be, there really isn't a better place to look than Jesus himself. The things he did and said and how he treated other people while he was on earth are the things that started the movement that we can still be part of today. One of the best examples of the way Jesus served others is found in the book of John. What's cool is that John was actually one of Jesus' closest friends and followers. John lived and walked and even served right beside Jesus while he was on earth. And that means that everything John wrote down about that time is something he saw or experienced himself. The moment we're going to look at today is one where Jesus actually went out of his way to serve the very people he was closest to. We join the story as Jesus and his disciples were gathered together for a meal to celebrate Passover. This was a pretty important holiday for them. It was a feast to remember the way that God was faithful to save and rescue his people from slavery in Egypt thousands of years ago. At this particular Passover, the disciples didn't realize that they were in their final hours with Jesus. The time was coming when he would be arrested and killed, and Jesus knew it. So as he gathered with his friends in these last moments, Jesus probably wanted to share something really important to him, something that would help his movement carry on. Here's what Jesus did. So he got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around him. Okay, so maybe you're hearing and seeing this and you're thinking, this is weird. Jesus washed their feet? If being a part of this whole movement means that I have to do that, count me out. Well, let me just reassure you that I'm not about to ask you to literally wash somebody's feet. The act of washing somebody's feet was a little different back then. It was actually an act of service. At that time, people didn't wear shoes like you and I do now. In fact, people mostly wore sandals and would walk miles and miles in them on dirty roads. The result? Their feet were covered in things like dirt and animal poo. Don't even get me started on the smell. People's feet were so dirty and smelled so badly that it was normal back then to wash people's feet when they entered a house. Washing someone's feet was certainly not a glamorous job. In fact, it was a job that was saved for servants. But here, Jesus did it. The savior of the world, the leader of the movement, the one who literally had the power to come back from the dead. He was the one who went out of his way to wash the feet of his friends. Nobody saw it other than the disciples. If they hadn't written it down, nobody else would have ever known about it. This certainly wasn't an Instagram-worthy moment. Jesus didn't do it so that other people would see it and think he was amazing. He didn't do it because he had to. Jesus washed their feet for no other reason than to show them what serving others is really about. Jesus served by doing something he didn't have to in order to help someone else. Remember, these were some of Jesus' last moments with his friends. He could have taken that time to do just about anything. To give his friends instructions, to encourage them to keep going, to speak one last message. But Jesus chose instead to simply serve them. Why? Because it was important to him. Serving others is part of the movement that Jesus started all those years ago. It's part of the movement we're all invited to join today. Take a look at what Jesus told his disciples just after this. And since I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash each other's feet. I have given you an example to follow. Do as I have done to you. In other words, Jesus was saying this: do something you don't have to do. Why? Because Jesus did it for us. It's part of what it means to follow him. It's part of the movement. He served his disciples this way, and because of that, they served others. Now here we are, thousands of years later, still talking about what Jesus did. How cool is that? Why? Because the movement is still going. It's something we're still invited to be part of today, to serve and love other people the way Jesus did for us. And we can see this happening all around us even today. I remember a few years ago, I was standing in line for a concert outside of an arena. There were a ton of people waiting in this line and it was so hot outside. As I was standing there, I noticed a man who was homeless sitting on the ground right near this line. Just a few minutes after I noticed this man, I saw a girl in front of me in line step out of this long line and walk towards this man. She stepped out of the long line with all of her friends to not just go up to this man, but to sit with him and talk with him. There were thousands of people in this line passing by this man, but this girl, she chose to see him. She saw that he was alone and in need, and she continued to sit with him and talk with him, even after her friends had gone into the arena for the concert. That day, this girl served this man by sitting outside of the arena simply by seeing him. Just like Jesus didn't have to wash the feet of his disciples, the person I just told you about didn't have to serve others either. They didn't do it for the recognition or a pat on the back. They weren't expecting money or anything in return. They served when they didn't have to because Jesus called them, and all of us, to be part of the movement of doing good for other people. So when it comes to serving, start the way Jesus did. Do something you don't have to do. This week, we can join the movement by doing 2 things. First, look for a need. Look for opportunities to serve others. Look for an opportunity to do something you don't have to do for someone else. There are needs all around us. We just have to ask God to open our eyes to see them. Then meet the need. Once we see the need, do something about it. Meet the needs you see at home, at school, with friends, with teammates, or with other people around you. Give what you have to serve them. It could be spending time with your siblings because you know they love hanging out with you, or doing chores for your parents without being asked, giving your time to someone by mowing their lawn, watching their kids, or inviting them to your house to hang out, donating your allowance to a good cause, showing kindness to someone who's new at school and in need of a friend. Whatever it is, make the step to meet the need, to join the movement, to serve, and not because you have to, but because you know Jesus did it for you first. So remember, when it comes to serving, do something you don't have to do. I know that this can be kind of scary to think about trying on your own. So why not start with your group? Groups are a place where you can talk about and even live out this faith stuff together. A place where you can lean on each other as you figure it out. They're a great place to talk about what it might look like for you to step out and serve, to join the movement together.
Wonderful, guys. I hope you enjoyed that lesson. And I love this lesson so much. Yeah, we often think that following the Bible is just about rules, right? Check, check, check. That's not what it is. We have to love God, love others, and we have to have the Spirit come through us so we can figure out how to best love each other. Now, I'm gonna have you guys do some discussion time, but one thing I also want you to do as a group, at the end of this, this series on service, which is just 2 weeks, so on the 3rd week, we are going to do a service project. You and your group are gonna do a service project, and I want you guys to think about what you could be doing. We'll have things that you can do, write letters to the elderly, go and clean up in your town. There's things you can do, but I know that you students have seen needs. You've seen things that need to be done around your community, and I think that you guys might be able to come up with a service project that you can do 2 Wednesdays from now. For example, I saw something at the East High School right outside their athletic fields, just tons of trash, and I'm like, man, one of our groups could totally get together, blast some music, clean up some trash, and really serve our community. So if that's something you would want to do, let me know. Remember, start talking about service projects that you guys can do together, because we don't have to do it, but because we're Christians and because we love God, we want to love other people as well. So there you go. I love it. That's what Jesus would do. That's what we should do. You guys can go to your time of discussion or your I Have Thoughts analysis on the verse. We'll put it back up, put it up on the screen about Jesus washing the feet of his disciples. It's amazing, guys. It's amazing. And there you go. That's it for tonight, and I'll see you next week. All right, peace out.